Okay, I've been wanting to hold off on posting videos for the last week or so because I've been working on getting the new YouTube channel up. But at the same time, I am wanting to be able to work on getting Brisbane City complete. I'm just going to pull this across here because I really don't need all of those files and folders. I can go to tool across. So I've been working on Riparian Plaza, and I just tried to do a test. I kind of got these windows fixed up, looking better. Been able to create a glass. You don't really see the reflections very well because that's a flight sim material. Not 100% sold on how I've got these windows here. I just tried to do a test and it failed to compile, which was a little bit sad, but I want to get on with the video. I tried to record it last night, but my microphone wasn't working. So I'm gonna go re-record. So I've got all the windows. These are kind of okay. You don't really see them very much in the simulator. The same with this top level here. They're more like fins that aren't super reflective, but there's also glass on the bottom part of the floor, and I haven't had a chance to look at that. And I mean, it's a detail that you're not really going to see in the simulator. So we have this side of the building. We have these window shades, and I've got them closed at the moment. The original model had transparent glass there, but I don't believe that there's actually glass. I think that from what I've seen, they're actually like completely open, and then these retract. So I'm gonna probably open these up, and I may do that in the next build. So I'll go into the sim, and my default flight, you'll see I've got all the yachts here on the river. I'm going to go to developer camera. I'm going to change the speed of the camera. Actually, it's stayed the same since last night, so let's see if I can get this to 0.9. 927 is probably about as close as I can get. 879 is good. Alright, so I'm going to go across here. We have all of the yachts. We're going to go up the river here. I'm just going to go higher a little bit. These vessels here, I do have them placed, but I want to be able to get in a couple of catamarans to change up the variety. And I have other vessels that I need to go and make reflective hulls for. So let me go into full screen mode here. And that's painfully slow. Let me speed up the camera a little bit because it needs to go a little bit faster than that. I'll go faster here. Yeah, about 2. That should be good. So Waterfront Place. Now let me start here with Stamford Plaza. This one, I haven't got the glass on yet. I'll try and do that today. Waterfront Place. I prefer these textures, but there's a lot of issues with this model that I need to correct with the UV mapping and everything. So I'm going to merge the two models and come up with a better roof line. Old AMP Place, Comalco House, or Comalco Place. Riperian, the Riverside Center, 111 Eagle Street, and this building have all been geolocated to plus or minus 1 meter RMSE, which is root mean square error. So depending on the oblique imagery that these buildings were originated from and the LiDAR data, they should be in their correct positions. So yesterday I did a lot of work on Riparian, and it's really hard to get good reflections off it. You really learn a lot about architecture and how they design stuff. These windows here, I just try to make them more accurate, and I have not as yet had complete success with it. I got them kind of set up in Blender. I'll show you what I've been doing, and did that, and I tried to hook up different things, and something broke, and it wouldn't compile. So let me change the time here real quick to sunrise, because we get a better idea of the reflections and stuff on the windows. So we go up the building here, we can see the slits. I'm going to bring the glass in a little bit because they kind of overlap the shadow, so I'm going to go fix that. But as we go up the building, we see the facade. We have these sunshades on the window. We come up here, and then let's slide across a little bit. We have the other windows up here. I swapped out the building because the other model that I had these back to front. They're flat on this end and curved on this end of the building, but the other model had them flipped where they were smoothed on this side and had gone out the other side. And then on this model, I put the antenna parts there. I need to rework this because they're not 100% accurate to what they are in real life. So I'm going to go and redo that. Let me just change the time again and put it more to noon. So at this angle, as we go around the building, you can see more of the reflections as we go around. We have the shade. As we look down, we see the reflections of the other buildings. This roof texture I'm going to replace with something higher resolution once I get to learn the system well enough. So yeah, this isn't bad. You see there's a bit of mismatch with the textures down there, and the previous model had that part of the building probably better textured. And if I am correct with what I've learned today, I should be able to replace these windows with higher resolution stuff. The difficulty with this is all these internal lighting structures, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to light them. The other thing that I've done with this building, this was about 2 times as large as it needed to be. I need to rework this and replace the texture with it. I pushed the ramp down, and it's pretty close to what it is in reality. I'm kind of working with the limits of the model. I think it's a fair enough representation at this point of all of that. I mean, I'm splitting hairs. I will push this center column down once I get into it, and I'll replace the road surface texture hopefully with some PBR. Then I come across the front here, and we've got the glass awning. So I just reworked that a little bit this morning. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of spill. So I'll bring this in a pixel here. I'll bring that around a pixel there and be able to bring that more in, and then get these windows aligned a little bit better. So if we go down to the ground, you can kind of get this nice view. Ooh, that's a nice spot right there. Let me adjust the time. The thing is, I'm having so much fun actually just looking at the imagery. I'm going to grab a screenshot of that actually. That's pretty nice. All right. So this is Riperian. Look at it through the various times of day. This nice little glint there. Reflections off 111 Eagle. So yeah, that work is looking a bit better. So here's the thing. Let me go up. This is a nice kind of shot here too, as we go with the building. So I'm going to replace the roof texture for Waterfront Place. Something that looks very blown out. What time are we at? 2 p.m. So that's that. I'm basically finishing up the City Reach area. I need to do Riverside Center. I need to do the glass on this building. These couple of buildings back here, I have been doing a bit of work on too. These Central Plaza 3, these few buildings here, they're all within ±1 RMSE, as well as Central Plaza 2. I need to rework the textures. I need to remove AAMI and replace the QIC logo. I need to replace that one with JLL, and I need to replace this one with just the QIC lettering, which is there now. And I'm going to replace the roof textures as well, because it's got baked in shadows, which for what we're doing doesn't really work. So pan around to the right, these yachts here, they're just left over from my hull tests. The Story Bridge is now placed accurately. This pillar is in the correct position. Slightly off there from the model. The model's not 100%, but it's pretty close. The bridge isn't fully wide enough at this point, comparing it with the real one. But as you see, we get down here, there's very little space in between this building and the bridge, and I may need to be able to push that out. I don't know that there's a building that's that tall this close to the river's edge, but I'll try and fix that up. I would love to try and do this walkway here and model that. It should be a pretty simple way of being able to do that, but as you can see, the river is really bouncy along here, so that's going to require a little bit of massaging to try and get that sorted out. So that's kind of a later wish list thing. In getting the Story Bridge back into position, both ends of the bridge are transition a lot smoother. There is still an issue with left-hand drive in the sim that goes back to Flight Sim 10, and I'll need to file a bug report with Asobo and just let them know, hey, this was never completed in Flight Sim 10 and the bug is still there in the code. So the city is starting to look pretty good. I may need to change the color of this texture on the front of that too, and swap that out. But as we go up here, we're going to head over to the other part of the city, and I'll make a left turn. So as we head towards South Bank, I'd really like to redo the posters on the front of the Queensland Performing Arts Centre, and because these posters are from probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd love to be able to get them up to date with something more modern. And also over here on Brisbane Eye, this is now very reflective black, and it seems like they put in some sort of like LED screens around here that light up and animate at night, and then around the outer edge here too. I need to put some lights underneath it to properly light it at night, and I want to see if I can actually animate this so that it actually works. So we'll go across here. Queensland Performing Arts Centre is here. I need to fix the transparency on that part. We'll go across here. I have this default bridge. Not really stoked about it at the moment, but I am not up to speed yet with modeling to really do that bridge at this point in time. And because photogrammetry data is likely to come to Bing, because I've seen it in the previews, I really want to be able to merge it. So I'm not really too worried about this bridge at the moment. I'm going to merge these data sets. So the Queensland Museum and what is it? Museum, and what else is here? The State Library's down here. Queensland Art Gallery. This building is completely missing, and I have stuff that I can bring in and have the base from OpenStreetMap, and I can start texturing it and pushing polys around and get a boolean and cut into the building. And I need to be able to texture it. I should be able to use basically a lot of these textures to be able to do that. So the other thing I want to do, I think I have a South Brisbane station I can plop in over here. Would love to redo the roof here on the convention center. I think I have the data set to be able to do that. It's going to take a fair bit of work in Photoshop to match everything up. Corner pin stuff and everything. So another landmark here, this goes back to Expo 88. If you remember, Expo 88 were born in the 70s or 80s. You may remember Expo 88. So this is the Sky Needle and this is purchased by Stefan, the hairdresser. He's since sold it. There's a new development around here that encircles the building. I need to replace this bottom texture, or at least blend it better, and make that into a copper texture. Need to put smoothing onto the whole thing, and I need to relight the whole thing. Originally, I believe it had a xenon lamp, and I can't remember how many watts it was, and it would circle and go around the city when it was Expo 88. So I want to get that lit up. I want to stick a couple lights up here that light up this segment of it, because it is kind of a Brisbane landmark, and they are planning to turn that back on. I'm not sure if it's turned back on as yet. The other things I plan to work on is retexturing the surface for the railway line here, as well as the William Jolly Bridge. They all both need lighting. I need to, and this is going to be a bear, trying to figure out where the lights actually exist on this bridge. Across here we have the old transit center building, which apparently has been razed to the ground, but with the Bing imagery at the moment, it is still 2017 and these buildings are still there. There's a lot of development happening for the new performance center here. So I'm going to leave them in for now. And these railway line buildings are still there. I'm going to leave these default OpenStreetMap buildings in. I need to start retexturing some of these and put in glass textures. Hopefully some of the, like all of this stuff, it really needs a lot of cleaning up. Turn these glass night lights at the tops of the buildings. These are currently OpenStreetMap buildings. These are basic extrusions with a little bit of embellishment on the top, so I'll need to research that. This is kind of reflective down here. The glass is reflective. Those need to be done. And I am almost at the point where I've learned enough that I'm going to be able to tackle redoing this building, which is 1 William Street. I've got the OpenStreetMap out. I've got the extrusion. I have to lop off the top of it, retexture it, put windows and glass panes on it, and get that done. And then these couple of buildings over here that are also OpenStreetMap, looking at it, this is not a complicated design at all. So I should be able to replace that and have something looking decent. And the same with this building here. This is also a new building. I think that's glass, so that one I'll eventually be able to get to. But I would like to be able to get to a place where most of the buildings are done and then bring updates online once it gets to that place. So City Reach is looking pretty good. I do have a couple of paddle steamers that I can use as imposters for the Kookaburra Queen riverboats. There are better versions that I can get, but I'm trying to be conscious about polygon counts and frame rates and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep this as optimized as possible. So while I could make these like study level buildings, at the same time, we want the sim to be flyable. So that's how it is right now. I am going to go across here, and this looks really good when all the boats are in, by the way. Gonna go and make sure that the gab is properly located, and the same with the Telstra Tower over here. So that's a quick update on Brisbane City. It is looking pretty good at this point. I'm going to go ahead and get on with more work with it today. I spent a lot of the day yesterday having to work on my film work. May have to go back to doing my side gig for a little bit to bring in some extra money. So that's it. Thanks for hanging with me, and I'll bring another update soon.